and welcome to the Sheriff's Report with Chip Simmons. That's you.
That's me. And it's my report, right?
Yeah, it's your report, your show.
It's our report.
And I'm Amber Southard. Thank you for following us on the iHeartRadio app and listening to our podcast that's going to air the last Wednesday of every month. So thank you and welcome. If this is your first time, we hope it won't be your last.
It's only our second time. So, but I can say one thing, that we won't go. We're going to go between 10 and 12 minutes, I should say. That's quick. 10, 12 minutes, because last time we went a little bit longer. But that was our first one, and we wanted to introduce a few things. But this time, if you're listening, and we hope you are, just sit down for about 10 minutes and maybe you'll learn something.
Hopefully we've got some good news to spread. We are going to talk about some events that we have coming up. One of the big things that we've done along with the Sheriff's Office Foundation, which we'll talk about them a little more in some future podcasts, but we were able to buy a movie screen, and now we're able to have these movie nights that we're going to do around the community. Can you tell us a little bit about the screen and what our plans are?
Yeah, 2022 is going to be the year that we break out our engagement to a whole new level. Yeah. We have this what we call video screen or wall or whatever you want to call it, but we're going to show movies, and we're going to bring our act on the road. It's going to be something like you would have seen back in the drive-in movie theater. So we're going to have a big old video screen, and our first one is set for March the 18th at Oakwood Terrace. We're going to bring it up there, and hopefully the kids will have a good time. The residents there in Oakwood Terrace will feed them hamburgers, hot dogs, and then we'll watch. We're set right now to watch Toy Story, and this is just the first of many of these things that we're going to have. We don't want to do it when in like August or September, because it's going to be a little bit warm, but we do want to do it in spring, and we're really looking forward to it.
Perfect. And so the idea is to get everybody together, bring a blanket, some chairs, come on out, sit around the movie screen, eat a hamburger, hot dog, maybe some popcorn. We'll see what we got out there in the future, and let everybody enjoy. We'll be moving it around the county each month, and so somewhere different every time for people to enjoy. So we're really excited about that and to see what that's about. And we'll have tons of more events coming up throughout the year. So if you haven't already, follow us on our social media. You'll see these events pop up. If it's anywhere near you or in your community, please come on out and see us. Yeah,
and again, what our thought is that you have a couple kids, or just yourself. Just come on out there and bring a lawn chair. You don't have to worry about eating. We'll feed you, and sit down and watch a movie with us. You can give us some feedback. We can talk about a number of different things until the movie starts. And once the movie starts, you can enjoy that, weather permitting. Again, it's just going to be a really good thing for us.
So the weather permitting, they say it's a waterproof screen, and I don't ever want to test that, but we live in Florida, so hopefully it is. Hopefully it's not water resistant.
Yeah, some of those things you buy. This jacket or something is not waterproof.
Yeah,
it's water resistant.
I think we've all learned that the hard way.
I don't think that we're going to, if it's really going to storm, we're probably not going to do it. But if there's a chance of rain, or if it's a slight sprinkle, bring an umbrella, and the show must go on, as they say.
Yep. So moving on, there was something the sheriff wanted to do. He wanted to give what he likes to call the Attaboys. Like, you've done a good job. The men and women here at the sheriff's office, let's highlight them and put them in the spotlight. And this month we had an employee of the month, and that was Master Deputy Jeff Cateo. He was assigned to D North, and he's been with the sheriff's office for almost 27 years. And one of the reasons the sheriff presented him with that award this month was because he helped with a lot of ATM burglaries that were going on in the area. So he gave some good information when he was out on patrol that helped the investigators get through these cases. So again, congratulations to Master Deputy Cateo, and we're so proud of you here at the sheriff's office. But we had a few more Attaboys that we were putting out there this month, and one of them happened to be on January 26th. We had some deputies respond to the 10 block of Paul Street for an unknown disturbance. Deputy Holcomb and Deputy Wallace arrived on scene, and they were met by Shannon Galloway, who was acting nervous and trying to leave the home quickly. She told deputies that they could enter the home for a welfare check. And Sheriff, what is a welfare check exactly?
It kind of is what it sounds like. Yeah. We go into a location. Typically, it's the home of an elderly person, just to check on their welfare, to make sure that they're okay. They may be suffering some sort of ailment, and a family member will give us a call and ask us to go by there, knock on the door. And if they haven't heard from them in a day or two, if it seems out of the ordinary, then we'll do this welfare check. It's a service that we provide because we know how important it is to family members who may not live in Escambia County, or may not be able to get to that location. We can, many times, fortunately, we can call them back and say, hey, here's your relative, your grandmother, grandfather,
They're here.
and so everything's okay. But sometimes, unfortunately, that welfare check leads to something more. And in this case, it was. It's kind of a weird case, though.
It is. That's when it turned. Like they get there, they get on scene, they start their welfare check, and when they go inside, y'all, they find a bed and a dresser that have been set on fire. And it started to quickly, from talking to the deputies, just quickly start spreading through the home. So, of course, they call the fire department. So they come on out. They start extinguishing the blaze, getting out there, putting the fire down. However, she had locked 3 dogs inside kennels.
Yeah, I mean, how crazy is this? So first of all, this lady is allowed to stay in this house by the homeowner, and when we get there, we meet her outside, and she seems like she wants to go. And in law enforcement, you kind of get the hint. There's something a little bit weird about this. It allows us to go inside there, and again, find 3 dogs locked inside a kennel with the fire started. So again, clearly this would have probably taken the lives of these dogs.
Right.
And I guess all's well that ends well, but what a weird.
Yeah, I mean, Deputy Walsh was able to go in and get those dogs right out of the kennel, and they were able to charge her with arson, after that. But apparently she had gotten in an argument with the landlords earlier that day, and they were starting the eviction process. So I guess she thought, let's just set it ablaze.
I'm not sure if she was really thinking clearly. There's clearly some issues there that need to be addressed with. But we charged them with arson, and fortunately our deputies, a quick response and a little bit of intuition. Yeah. I was able to save these dogs.
Following your gut, that's really big in this industry, being able to feel that, know that there's something quite not right. I need to look into this further. That's huge.
Well, a lot of people that we deal with, they think that they can just lie their way out, and they say something. They don't understand that it doesn't make any sense. It may make sense to you, but when a deputy or an investigator or a police officer of any kind goes there and they talk to you, they can readily say, hey, this is not quite right. And that's why when we talk to the media, we talk to the public, and we say, hey, there are some inconsistencies in their story. Yeah. And what we mean is we ain't buying it.
Right.
What you're telling us ain't going to work. So.
Yeah. Well, we had another weird thing happen this month. So on Groundhog's Day, there was a couple. They come downstairs that morning. They start making their cup of coffee. They're getting ready for their normal day, and they hear something in their house. So they think their home's being burglarized. They think somebody has broken inside their home. So they immediately call 911, right? But it wasn't that, was it?
No, yeah. They hear something breaks the glass door in their front room. Call us, think it's burglary. They go to the back room. And as you mentioned, then we get there and we have body cameras, so we can see this on the deputy's body camera. And he's got his flashlight pointing to where he can also hear, sounds like someone rummaging through, glass breaking, that sort of thing. And as soon as the camera pivots with the deputy, you see a deer leave the same window, same door that they had broken.
You hear the glass crash, and this deer just leaps out of the home,
bolting out, in an escape. So we had a little bit of fun with it. We talked a little bit about it on our website. Because there's not many times we can in this time. The burglary was not a burglary at all. It was a burglary, I guess. Yeah. It was done by a deer. Yeah. So all's well that ends well, I guess.
And we've been busy this month as well, or last month too. We started reading in a bunch of elementary schools. We started at Myrtle Grove Elementary School. Command staff went in and read some stuff. I know Chief Leiter got dissed by a 6-year-old. Told him he looked 100.
Well, out of the mouth of babes, you never know what you're going to get. I remember going to many of these things, and the first questions are, the canines and about dogs. And in this case, they asked Chief Leiter how old he was, and they missed it by a year or two. They thought it was 100. He's not quite 100, but he's, he may look like it. He looks like he's 100. But no, we're fortunate enough to be in a situation, a community where we can go out there and we can enjoy, the kids and read stories to them. Some of those books are not easy to read. I have to tell you, they're supposed to rhyme and
trip you up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read The Night Before Christmas, and I made one mistake, and I've never heard the end of it. I can't remember now, so we won't rehash all that, but it's probably on video somewhere.
It is on video. But we could probably play it if we wanted.
Well, here's the thing. We have 700 employees, over 700 employees, and we're more than willing to read to kids. Yeah. If they want us, we'll be there, and that's why we serve our community.
Well, we're getting to the end of the podcast, but Sheriff, you had some history facts you wanted to share real quick with everybody. So, fun fact, Sheriff Simmons is actually our 45th sheriff here in Escambia County. Is that correct?
45th different sheriff.
Yes.
47th, if you had. We had two sheriffs that had a broken term, if you will. And so they were sheriff one time, then they got ousted or decided not to be the sheriff, and then they came back. But we'll start with the first sheriff, and I'll go over this really quick. Colonel Henry Pierre was the county's first sheriff. He was actually appointed, but I'm not sure if his history was such that could have got him elected now because, and I hope there's no relatives of his that are watching us and upset with me dissing him. Yeah. He was born 1778 in Haiti. He became a privateer and a merchant marine, roving the Caribbean and other southern waters of North America. He immigrated in the 1800s, ended up being in the military and served, and then finally in 1821 he was appointed as the first sheriff of Escambia County. Didn't last very long. I think he lasted for 6 or 8 months, and then we had the second sheriff, and we may talk more about the second sheriff on our next podcast.
Well, we told you we were going to try to keep it around 10 minutes. I think we're around that 10-minute mark. So please, next time, follow us right here on iHeartRadio Podcast. You can go download that app for free on your iPhone or Android device. And we're the last Wednesday of every month. You can check us out. You can also set that notification to get reminders of when a new podcast has launched from the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. We hope you do that. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel. You can check out the full show there with some video if you can't check us out on iHeartRadio.
I'm not sure why they need video, but okay. We can start putting pictures up, then that way you'll entice people to watch us on video. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us.